what my plan was going to be, and I lived in California at the time, and I wanted to be a singer and a dancer at Disneyland. This was my dream. And I graduated from high school. It was back in the day when you could actually go to Disneyland, and if you didn't want to ride any rides, you could actually walk into the park free, which I did. And I went from one singing group to the next, and just back and forth, and I wanted to be in the Kids of the Kingdom. That was the name of the group. And I would memorize all the songs and all the lyrics, and I kind of practice the steps as I would watch them from my seat. And this was my dream. So I found out there was going to be an audition, and I went to the audition. My mother played the piano for me, and I kind of prepared a little medley of Barbra Streisand songs that ended with "Don't Rain on My Parade," and kind of sang it as a 19-year-old might sing it. And the people that were adjudicating, they seemed kind of interested, and the others in the room at the same time, they seemed, very enthusiastic. And I thought, this is it. I'm just that much closer to the edge of my dream, and I was so excited. Well, they told us that it would be about 3 or 4 weeks, and we would get a letter in the mail. This was long before email and long before cell phones and texts and all that. And so we had to wait for mailman to actually bring a letter to the mailbox. But every day I was so dedicated to walk out to the mailbox, no letter from Disneyland. But I walked out there for 3 weeks every single day. Finally, I knew that too much time had gone by. Something was going on. My letter has gotten lost in the mail. I'll just call them. So I called and talked to the nice lady that I had talked through this whole process. And she said, "Well, yeah, Sandy, we know you. We remember you. What a wonderful voice. Hold on just a minute. Let me get your paperwork." And so she put me on hold, and she came back and said, "Oh, yes, I see here. We loved your voice, everything." She said, "But we just felt like you were carrying a little bit too much weight for us. And that you didn't move quite as well as we wanted. But just go ahead and try again some other time. We're going to dance blah, 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 blah." Because I didn't really hear anything else after that. Because my dream was shattered. Well, here I thought I was just on the edge of something wonderful. And I'd gone off the edge to the disastrous, difficult depression, because my dream, as I saw it, was not going to come true. I remember just crying for days in my room. I know it seems so silly now when I look back on it, but at 19, dreams are pretty big. And that dream didn't come true, and that sort of altered some choices for me. So instead of staying in California, I decided to come to Anderson, Indiana to go to college. And I enrolled and studied music at Anderson University in Anderson, Indiana. I started teaching piano lessons as kind of a way to help pay my way through school. I started doing a lot of jingle work, a lot of studio work with Steve Morris, who's right down there. We even sang, "Love to choose juicy fruit because you love that juicy flavor." Anyway, but I digress. A couple of my piano students were Bill and Gloria Gaither's kids. I taught them on a weekly basis and sang in his studio quite a bit. One day he called and said, "Sandy, we're looking for a backup singer. Are you interested?" I said, "Wow, let me pray about it." Okay. And I began to travel with Bill and Gloria Gaither for about 5 years. And during that time, they graciously let me step to the front of the stage from time to time and sing a brand new song at the time called "We Shall Be Broken." Now, I can look back 30 years ago and see that edge from a very different perspective. What I thought was the edge of disaster was really the edge of something divine. I just couldn't see it. It wasn't that God had said no to my dream. He had just said yes to a dream for me that I couldn't see yet. That's how God works. When we look back and we see the story that He has written, can we look back and see those moments that we were so depressed and just devastated? And yet when we look back, we can see God's divine hand all That's what our Savior does. He comes in and he makes a way even when there seems to be no way. It's not that he says no to our dreams. It's just that he has already said yes to a dream for us that we can't see yet. Hold on. Don't give up. Be encouraged. My Savior, he cares for you. There is a Savior. What joys express. His eyes are mercy. His word is rest. For each tomorrow, for yesterday, there is a Savior who lights our way. And I sing because I'm happy. And I sing because I'm free. He's on a sparrow. And I know he watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow. And I know he watches. Yes, I know.